grass in the middle outwards, so that the side rakes pick it, row it. But when you get to the end of the row, it's just an annoyance, and I don't think the Valmare rake includes that. Okay, that might be a story. Is a huge pile of hay. I'm trying to think, what else are we planning on this farm now? I think that, okay, short-term goal is to have cows by winter. After that, everything's kind of up in the air. Not going to try and do the tight turn there, we'll do the outside edge. Well, yeah, that might do it. Would probably have been a little more unfortunate if, well, you'd actually been relieving yourself behind the tractor when the sheriff drove by and didn't realise he was there. Okay, what'd you win? One more row? I must admit, in all my searches of YouTube, I haven't actually seen a rake this exact style. I've seen the Vermeer rake being used, but this one, no. Although I have now seen a professional farmer who uses an extractor, although it's not the Anderson, it's a Kuhn version, but still I have seen an extractor in use, which is kind of cool. It's sort of one of those pieces of equipment you see in farm sim and say, who uses this stuff? Although with those you wouldn't see them in a field, so that's kind of a fair, a fair question in a way. I mean, a lot of the farming most people see is what's happening in a field. Why aren't you folding in? Thank you. So rakes, windrowers, mowers, balers, you see those all out in the field. Even forage harvesting, I see a huge forage harvester doing a silage. I think it was grass silage. But you're not going to see the wrapper normally because you don't have access to the yard to see what's going on there. Though that said, I did see one of the farmers down near Coshocton in Ohio He had a couple of small, older tractors. Didn't see him doing the mowing or the baling, but he had two little tractors with 3-point bale spikes on them, front and back, and these tractors were shuttling between the field and his yard, bringing two bales back each a time. And then when we came back through, you could see the yard from the highway, and he had the in-game wrapper that we have, something similar to that, hitched to the back of his pickup truck, and he was loading bales into that to wrap and then stack. So, what's it? Wrappers. Kind of something like a small older one of these, and it was running off the truck's electrics, as far as I can tell. But that was generally following the normal rules of you don't normally bale silage or create silage bales where you don't want to store them. Because once they're wrapped, the wrapping can get torn, so you want to handle it as little as possible. So you don't want to pick up bales on a field or wrapped bales on a field, cart them back to your yard, unload them and stack them. It's much easier, probably less work intensive, to load the bales on the back of your trailer, haul them back to the yard, unload them into the wrapper, and then this is why it got hooked. Unload it into the wrapper, and then just stack the wrapped bale, and you just have to move it the once at that point. And a little bit of cheating with the shed post, but that is in. Okay, we'll do a quick check on what size bales are we creating here. And we have grass. That sucks. And actually, while I'm noticing it, I think it might be a good idea to run over here. Why do I have grass in the baler? That's an interesting question. I don't recall the last thing being... Anyway, let's refuel the tractor. And no charge for the fuel since we already paid for it. Oh, now that's the other thing that is available on this patch, is you can get a placeable lime station. So I could put a lime station on the farm and not have to cart bags back to not have to cart bags of lime back to the farm, because it's quite a trek. Well, that is where we're sitting at the moment. Patchwork is trying to see whether baling contracts are actually all they're cracked up to be with precision farming running. Now, with the better baling contracts or whatever I've got mod loaded, I can cancel all of the contracts that are currently out there and regenerate them. So I could get rid of all the baling contracts that I don't want to do. But I'm at the point now. I was going to look at that, didn't I? And crash into the wooden post, which is now a collision. Okay, so 180 centimetre bales. We're creating the biggest bales. That's good. So we're not going to create too many of them. TGIS. Oh, what was it? Something happened 50 years ago last week. And it's sort of, wow, did it really? Okay, we're here. Okay, let's get this lowered, turned on, see how well we deal with this huge pile of stuff here. Okay, it's turned into hay. That's a good start. So we're going to end up with a bonus bale. And that is picking stuff up. I'm just not driving in the right place. Oh. I don't have the sound up, so I can't hear the beeps. Excuse me. I'll just change that. And button 10 is auto unload, button 9 is manual unload. So this is now on auto unload. Okay, let's get this started. And the whole baling deal is one of the reasons why I'm such a fan of Follow Me, because it's so much easier, especially with a baler. I don't mind using the round baler quite so much, especially not since you can make 9,000 litre bales, and thus there's not quite so many of them. And I'm not too bad at stacking them. Okay, I'm going to back up there and see if we can grab a little bit more from the edge here. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it's one of the reasons, starting farm, we're in round bales because the options we've got here are fairly cheap. I mean, this baler's still 56,000, but most of the rest of the baling equipment we're running isn't really costing us that much money. real life you can get some really cheap old round balers, which you may spend a lot of your time maintaining as much as you are baling with them. But you get into square bales, and that's where it starts getting pricey, because you now need a $200,000 tractor plus a $100,000 baler, and that's not very friendly to your bank balance. But the whole being able to run follow me means I don't have to pay attention to the baler filling up and needing to be unloaded, because the follow me dude will take care of the stopping and the unloading. However, the downside there is that I can only run the mower at low speed, because otherwise you just don't end up. Okay, we'll pull this row. There's a lot to clear up at the edge of the field, but again, I'm really not sure we're going to need all of this. Yeah, one of the farmers I watch runs on a lot of very old John Deere equipment. In fact, the no-till seeder is very much like the seeder he bought this year. He's got pretty much most of his farm is John Deere tractors, old John Deere tractors. He has one open cab New Holland, which he usually uses to run the grain auger for his grain bits. And occasionally the tedder, because it's a light tractor. He said he likes running the New Holland on his tedder because it doesn't crush the grass. He said it was too hot this week, so he tedded the grass in his John Deere, which is, it's only a two-wheel drive John Deere, but it's still a little bit heavier. But it has an enclosed cab and air conditioning, so comfortable. Quick finish off the tea since it's getting a little cold. And some of these longer partial rows, I may go back over them just because I don't know. I'm really not doing this very efficiently. I should probably get back to doing alternate rows like what I normally do. Oh, get that off the grass. So what do you think? I'm making approximately a bale per row by the looks of it. But yeah, he has two older John Deere balers, and he'll usually have at least one of them break during each of his many baling sessions per year. He's got 2 balers because he needs a backup. But he now has 2 tractors that can haul the balers. And he's got that because his teenage son's getting to the age where he could help. So if both balers are running, his wife runs the rake, and she has to rake slowly so that he can keep up with her, because he doesn't want all the fields raked and then he's out there baling and the baler breaks down and then it rains, because that's just bad all round. So he tries, she rakes such that she's not too far ahead of where he's at. What do you think? Trying to figure out how to get that bit in the corner where I turned the rake on. Not sure I'm going to manage it though. Yeah. Not really working. Okay. Take the next row. Oh, poo. That's gonna drop right where I don't want it. Again, not paying attention to the fill level. We'll see how much we can make. Obviously, once I've got the majority of this, I'll switch to the smaller bale size. See if we can get one final bale out of the field. And obviously the main goal here is to try and see if this bale contract will actually pay out. If it does, then my latest working theory is that contracts are based on 100% yield, and if you can't make that, then you're going to fail the contract delivery. So have a backup plan. As I said, this field I think is expected to yield generally at plus 108. Or not plus 108. It's expected to yield at 108%. So plus 8% on the yield. And 100 more. Yes, thank you. And missed a bit again. It's a small patch by the gate. Not too worried about that right now. Long strip over on our left and then the road to our right. So not sure how I did with the headlands at each end. 7, 8 and 9 and done. So I think I should probably manage about one more bale. And I don't think there's going to be near enough to hash out a small one afterwards. But we did. We should have. More than enough. I may collect some of the dregs just so that we've got something to take back with us, because we did start with a fair amount in the baler. Oops, I missed that bit. Okay, now we're hunting. We need about 1,000 litres. That was only 224. That's a problem. $300. 350. This is looking like we're going to be way too short for another bale, and I should probably have switched to medium before I just started this one. Okay, check each bale and see if there's a mound of straw, hay, green stuff after each one. Kind of missing all the bits here. Oh, there's a bit over there. Well, I missed that one. Okay. Looks like there's a small load by the bale by the gate, but I think we are not going to make a full bale out of what's left here. Manage all of that? Pretty much.